Job interview conversation. Apparel merchandiser interview conversation.
What does a typical day involve for an apparel merchandiser?
The day-to-day responsibilities of an apparel merchandiser vary depending on the size and scope of the company they work for, as well as the specific products they are responsible for merchandising. However, there are some common tasks that most merchandisers perform on a daily basis. Some of the most common duties include researching new trends and styles in the fashion industry, analyzing sales data to identify opportunities and areas for improvement, creating and presenting merchandise plans to buyers and other decision makers, negotiating with vendors to secure the best prices for products, working with designers to ensure that products meet customer demands and expectations, planning and executing marketing campaigns to promote specific products or lines, monitoring inventory levels and reordering merchandise as necessary.
What responsibilities do an apparel merchandiser have?
An apparel merchandiser is responsible for a wide range of activities, from forecasting trends to managing inventory and developing marketing strategies. They work closely with designers, buyers, and other members of the retail team to ensure that garments are produced and sold in a way that meets the needs of the customer base and maximizes profits. Some specific responsibilities of an apparel merchandiser include forecasting trends in the fashion industry and determining which styles will be popular with consumers, working with designers to develop new products that meet consumer demand, creating sales plans and strategies to increase revenue, analyzing sales data to identify areas of opportunity or potential problems, managing inventory levels to ensure that products are available when consumers want them, negotiating contracts with suppliers to get the best possible prices for goods, developing marketing campaigns to promote products.
What skills are necessary to be a successful apparel merchandiser?
Some of the skills that are necessary to be a successful apparel merchandiser include strong organizational skills. Apparel merchandisers need to be able to keep track of many different orders and products, often from multiple suppliers. They need to be able to plan ahead and make sure that all the products they need will be available when they need them. Good communication skills. Apparel merchandisers need to be able to communicate effectively with suppliers, customers, and other members of their team. They need to be able to negotiate prices and terms, and resolve any issues that may arise. Strong analytical skills. Apparel merchandisers need to be able to analyze data and trends in order to make informed decisions about what products to buy and how to price them. They also need to be able to forecast future trends so that they can plan accordingly. Creativity. Apparel merchandisers need to be creative in order to come up with new ideas for products and marketing campaigns. They also need to be able to think outside the box in order to solve problems that may arise.
What makes a good merchandise mix?
There are a few things that make a good merchandise mix. A good mix of products that complement each other. For example, if you sell clothing, you would want to have a mix of tops, bottoms, outerwear, and accessories. This way, customers can put together complete outfits from your store. A good mix of price points. You don't want all of your products to be low-end or high-end, but rather a mix of both so that there is something for everyone. A good mix of styles. Again, you want to have a variety for customers to choose from so that they can find something that suits their taste. A good mix of sizes. Make sure to carry a range of sizes so that everyone can find something that fits them well. A good mix of colors. You don't want your store to look too one-dimensional, so having a variety of colors is important.
How does one develop a merchandise plan?
There are a few key steps in developing a merchandise plan. Define the target market. Who is the customer you are trying to reach? What are their needs and wants? Research the competition. Who else is selling products similar to what you want to sell? What are they doing well, and what could you do better? Develop a product mix. What products will you carry, and in what quantities? How will you price your products? Create a sales forecast. Based on your research and product mix, how much do you expect to sell of each item? When do you expect peak sales periods to be? Develop an advertising and promotion strategy. How will you let your target market know about your products? What events or promotions will you run to drive sales?
How does market research play into the role of an apparel merchandiser?
An apparel merchandiser needs to be aware of the latest fashion trends in order to forecast future demand and make decisions about what products to buy and sell. Market research is one way to stay up to date on industry trends. By conducting surveys, observing consumer behavior, and analyzing data, a merchandiser can gain insights into what styles are popular and identify emerging trends. This information helps them make informed decisions about which products to stock and how to price them.
What are some best practices for analyzing customer data?
There are a number of best practices for analyzing customer data, which can be broadly divided into two main categories. Collecting and storing customer data. In order to effectively analyze customer data, businesses need to first ensure that they are collecting accurate and up-to-date information. This data can be collected through a variety of methods, such as surveys, interviews, focus groups, and online research. Once this data has been collected, it is important to store it in a secure location where it can be easily accessed and updated as needed. Analyzing customer data. Once businesses have collected accurate customer data, they need to analyze this information in order to identify trends and patterns. There are a number of different ways to analyze customer data, but some common methods include statistical analysis, regression analysis, and cluster analysis.
What sources do you use to stay up to date on current trends?
There are a few different ways that I stay up to date on current trends. I follow a few fashion bloggers and magazines on social media, and I also make it a point to attend trade shows and events when possible. Additionally, I like to keep an eye on what celebrities and influencers are wearing. This helps me to understand what might be popular in the near future so that I can make sure my merchandise selection reflects those trends.
How does an apparel merchandiser forecast future trends?
There are a few different ways that an apparel merchandiser can forecast future trends. One way is to look at past trends and try to identify patterns. This can help the merchandiser predict what might be popular in the future. Another way to forecast trends is to stay up to date on current fashion trends. This can be done by reading fashion magazines, attending fashion shows, and following trendsetters on social media. Additionally, many apparel companies hire trend forecasters to help them predict upcoming trends. These forecasters use a variety of methods, including analyzing social media, conducting consumer surveys, and tracking sales data.
How do you decide what merchandise to buy for your store?
There are a few factors that go into deciding what merchandise to buy for a store. The first is to consider the target market or who the store is trying to appeal to. Once that is determined, research can be done on what type of merchandise this target market is interested in. Another factor to consider is what type of merchandise will be popular or in demand at the time the store is looking to buy. This can be determined through trend reports and fashion forecasts. Finally, the store has to consider its budget and how much it can afford to spend on merchandise.
How do you negotiate with vendors to get the best prices?
There are a few key things to keep in mind when negotiating with vendors to get the best prices. It is important to do your research ahead of time and know what the fair market value is for the goods or services you are seeking. This will give you a starting point for negotiations and help you avoid being taken advantage of. Be prepared to walk away from the deal if the vendor is not willing to meet your price expectations. This shows that you are not desperate and are willing to walk away from a bad deal. Be polite and professional throughout the negotiation process. This can help build rapport and trust, which can lead to a better deal. Try to negotiate for terms that are favorable to you, such as longer payment terms or discounts for bulk orders. Get everything in writing so there is no confusion about the terms of the agreement later on.
How do you create effective displays that will sell your merchandise?
There are a few key things to keep in mind when creating effective displays that will sell your merchandise. Make sure your displays are well lit. Good lighting is key to making your merchandise look appealing and inviting. Use a variety of colors and textures in your displays. This will help to catch shoppers' attention and make your products more visually interesting. Keep your displays clean and organized. Clutter will only serve to distract shoppers from your merchandise. Use signage to highlight special features or promotions. This can be a great way to draw attention to specific items or deals that you want to push. Be creative. Think outside the box when it comes to your displays. The more unique and eye-catching they are, the more likely shoppers are to take notice.
How do you train your sales staff to sell your merchandise effectively?
The first step is to ensure that your sales staff is familiar with your merchandise. They should be able to describe the features and benefits of each product, and answer any questions that customers may have. Next, you'll want to provide them with some selling tips and techniques. For example, you can teach them how to overcome objections, close a sale, and upsell or cross-sell products. Finally, it's important to give your sales staff ongoing support. This could include regular training sessions, one-on-one coaching, and providing them with helpful resources.
How do you handle markdowns and clearance items?
There are a few different ways that markdowns and clearance items can be handled. One way is to have a separate area in the store for these items. This way, customers know where to go to find these items and they can easily see what is on sale. Another way is to mix clearance items in with regular priced items. This can help to sell clearance items more quickly, but it may also create confusion for customers. If markdowns and clearance items are mixed in with regular priced items, it is important to clearly mark the prices of each item.
What are some strategies for reducing shrinkage?
There are many strategies that can be used to reduce shrinkage in apparel merchandising. Implementing proper inventory management practices. This involves keeping track of inventory levels and ensuring that there is enough stock to meet customer demand, but not too much that it results in excess inventory. Conducting regular sales. Regular sales help to clear out old stock and make room for new merchandise. This helps to reduce the chance of items going out of style and becoming unsellable. Offering discounts and promotions. Offering discounts and promotions on certain items can help to boost sales and clear out older stock. Donating unsold merchandise. Donating unsold merchandise to charity or other organizations can help to reduce the amount of excess inventory that a company has on hand. Properly storing and handling merchandise. Storing and handling merchandise properly can help to prevent damage and ensure that items remain in good condition until they are sold.
How do you measure the success of your merchandising efforts?
There are a few different ways that I measure the success of my merchandising efforts. The first is by looking at sales figures and comparing them to budgeted projections. This helps me to see how well my products are selling and whether or not I need to make any adjustments to my merchandising strategy. Another way I measure the success of my merchandising efforts is by tracking customer feedback. This includes things like customer surveys, social media comments, and reviews. This helps me to see what customers think of my products and whether or not they are satisfied with their purchase. Finally, I also measure the success of my merchandising efforts by looking at inventory levels. This helps me to see how quickly my products are selling and whether or not I need to order more inventory.